Hello everyone, this is Chelsea from Those with Words. Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to share a traveler's notebook update where I go ahead and change not just the leather cover, but also the refill inside. I have my olive traveler's notebook right there, and I'll be moving into this brown to and fro traveler's notebook for the next couple of months and picking one of these refills to go along with it. And I will also add some charms that are inside this superior labor case. So let's go ahead and get started. Before I really get into the details of what I'm doing, I'm basically just going to be taking things out of my traveler's notebook anyway. I want to preface this by saying that the traveler's notebook was supposed to be a bonus journal according to the initial 2025 Techo Kaigi or planner meeting. I didn't know whether or not I would have time to keep a traveler's notebook going through the whole year, so I didn't really include it in the Techo Kaigi, other than to say, I know that I tend to miss my traveler's notebooks when I don't use them, so I may use it this year. And this setup has been working well for me so far, where I keep all of my supplies inside of my traveler's notebook in leather folders and pockets and such. And then I keep a refill inside where I just put all of the daily ephemera that I've been gathering. Things like labels, stickers, receipts, anything really goes, but I love keeping that all together in this journal. It makes it really fun, and I decorate to my heart's content. I'm just showing you here, this is an Oeda letterpress monthly sticker set, and I will be using the next blank refill from April onwards. So right now, this green insert that you see in the background or refill contains ephemera journaling from January through March of this year. And here I'm just showing you a bunch of memo papers that I keep in the back pocket of the 1.61 soft goods leather folder. So this journaling kit method has been working really well for me. This way I don't have to go back into my supplies and pick out a bunch of stuff. I don't really have to go into any drawers or anything like that. I just have some of my supplies ready to go and just to be used, so I can just really pick things up and journal quickly. This is a Crew Kinki paper folder. I received this with my order that I got in early March that I pre-ordered in January. I got a couple of small stamps from that artist, and it came with that paper folder, and I decided to keep it for later use. I am now removing the refill by going to the middle of the notebook, and just the spread that you see here is a really good example of how I've been journaling. I may or may not share a flip through of this 1/1 studio refill. It's really been a personal ephemera, like a mix of everything type of journal. Sometimes I include family photos, other times it's just a packaging from like a cookie or some sweets that I ate. This is like the opening page that I decorated a long time ago. And it's added up quite a bit since then. It's a little bit bulky, but I really loved filling this in. I still have a few pages left in the back here, as you can see, and some ephemera that I have yet to stick onto the page, but I will work on that later on. I still have some photos that I want to print for the rest of the pages, so that will be completed later on. But this particular day, I had some good natural lighting for once, and I wanted to just try it out with recording a video and just moving into this notebook because I miss this particular brown traveler's notebook quite a bit. This one was customized through Baumkuchen's Truly Your Service, and I also have some patches up front that I stuck down. And then inside I have a bunch of stamps from Traveler's Company, and I also have the signature from the founder of Traveler's Company and Traveler's Notebooks, which is really, really special. So I just wanted to show you a close-up of that. And on the back are all of the stamps that I got when I traveled to Japan from various travelers' factories, the Superior Labor Store, And I believe all of these like city stamps from Traveler's Factory Tokyo Station. And then I also have another 1.61 soft goods leather folder. It's in a slightly different configuration than the one that I'm including in the Olive Traveler's Notebook. So as you can see, the right side is not a secretarial pocket on the darker version. It's actually just a straight leather pocket. But regardless, I enjoy how light these folders are, and they still can fit a lot. So I have a couple of them in my collection. Here is the Superior Labor pouch. This one in particular is in collaboration with the Traveler's Company, and I just keep all of my charms and leather tags and even pins on the back. But all of these are things that I've just gathered throughout my stationery journey of 8 years now ongoing. That's kind of wild, actually. I've been journaling creatively for 8 years. And now I'm just removing a bunch of charms and some leather tags. There's one in particular that I believe I'm looking for here, so I dig around a little bit, but I am basically trying to decide what I want to put on the front rubber band of the brown Traveler's Notebook. This is often my favorite part of moving back into a cover, just switching things up. I'm debating between this brown Traveler's Factory leather tag, which I punched another hole on the right side to make into a tag. And then this is a Cinema and Traveler's Notebook tag from a couple of years ago. It was one of those promotions where you buy the next year's refills and then you can get it as like a little bonus. This is a Traveler's Town one that you can see right there in the olive color. So I can't remember which year it is off the top of my head, but yes, that is the one. So I'm debating between those two in the front. And this is typically what I do to try and decide is I close the notebook and then I just kind of lay the charm or the tag against the main elastic just to see what it would look like before I go through the effort of putting everything together. This is the Sakura charm. It's a little dented from just me carrying it around, but I still really like it. And then I'm trying to see if I want to add another charm. I have this little cute notebook charm there that you can kind of hang off of the main elastic. I'm looking through to see if I want to add any brass elements, but I actually decided against it, even though I have a lot of brass charms. Maybe I will go through and do like a charms or tag collection video at some point. I've picked up a lot of random things over the years, not just branded stuff, but for example, one of the quote-unquote charms that I have is just a coin, and I just polish the brass, and that is something that I've used on my Traveler's Notebook. So I'm playing with the layout a little bit here. I've decided I want to play around with those 3 particular charms. So now I do the work of undoing the elastic in the back and stringing the charms through. Something about this process is very comforting to me. I just like dressing up my traveler's notebooks, if you will. And I go through different phases where certain periods I love to put all kinds of charms on my traveler's notebooks. I go ham and I add like 4 or 5, and you can hear all of the charms and tags moving around whenever I take out my traveler's notebook in public. Other times I like to keep it simple and I only keep one tag or charm on it. So for example, on my Olive Traveler's Notebook, I only had the Traveler's Town olive leather tag on it, and that was really all I felt like adding to it at the time, so I didn't really add any of my other charms that might dangle off of the elastic. And here I am doing a slight balance of both, I suppose. I want to make sure I use that leather tag. I haven't used the cinema one in a while, and my partner and I have been watching more shows and movies and such recently, so I really like the addition of that. And it's the brown leather tag. It really matches the brown traveler's notebook in a really beautiful way. And the rose gold matches the cherry blossom charm. So now that I've put everything together, I'm looking at it and I actually don't really love how the notebook charm hangs against that mushroom patch in the front. It looks a little strange to me personally. So I decided to take that off. And even though it looks a little imbalanced now because there's no charm on the right side, I like how the left side sort of takes up more room now because the patches that I already have in the front of the notebook are already more on the right side. Hopefully that makes sense, but it was just visually more pleasing to me that way, so I decided to just keep it at that. And now I'm just putting in all of the different things that I took out, so my PET tapes, washi tape samples, and little fussy cut pieces always go in on the left-hand side. And then because this one doesn't really have leather pockets sewn into the traveler's notebook, I have a little less space to work with. For all of these memo pads, first I am going to just go ahead and put them on the right-hand side. I debated briefly whether or not I wanted to use that paper folder to store them, but I decided against it. That might be more useful for smaller ephemera moving forward. This letterpress sticker sheet unfortunately doesn't fit into the right side cover. Same thing with this paper folder, so I'm just trying it out. This is in real time. And I decided to just keep them loose, which is okay too, just because of the way that the traveler's notebook works with the main elastic. I usually don't have too many issues with things falling out. I'm also adding this paper trash bin that I like to use when I craft into the back of the left side. Now for the refill, I am debating between this Nakameguro refill. It's a beautiful refill that really shows that particular neighborhood where Traveler's Factory, the flagship one, is located. And then there is also this Kyoto refill, which I purchased from the Kyoto Traveler's Factory, and I really like both. The Kyoto one is also blank. I think both of these are blank. And the Kyoto one would give me more room to put stickers all over the cover, which is something I actually really enjoy doing. So I went back and forth for a while, but I ultimately decided to use the Nakameguro cover. And I just really liked the cream cover and the way the front of the cover, the blue or turquoise-ish looking elements, I think it really matched the Oeda letterpress monthly stickers that I'm going to use inside. And it's really cool when you flip it open, there's a special map of the Nakameguro neighborhood, and there's like a little dot where Traveler's Factory is, which is really nice. It really brings back a lot of memories from the last time and the first time that I've ever been to Traveler's Factory Nakameguro. It wasn't too busy back then, but now I hear that Traveler's Factories in Japan are really, really busy. Let me know if you've ever been recently. I'm curious to hear your experience. Because when I was there a couple of years ago, I was able to just walk in. There were no lines, and upstairs was pretty empty. So this is what the final choice looks like. I'm just showing you the front and back of the cover with the charms added. And this will be my setup for the next couple of months with the ephemera journal. Again, I paste photos from every day. I will be including all kinds of labels and packaging and stickers and such in that notebook. And I will be using this monthly sticker to just denote the differences whenever I cross over a month. And I'm hoping to keep this set up for April, May, and June through the spring and early summer months. I'm really looking forward to the weather lightening up. And I appreciate you being here watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's always really fun for me to set up a traveler's notebook and There's just something about this system that I find really comforting and I love so much. I think I'm just really emotionally attached to it. I know it's not necessarily for everyone, but I really love the traveler's spirit that the notebook embodies and the way it ages with you. So I'm just cleaning up the rest of the charms here and just showing you the pouch one last time before I wrap up this video. Thank you for watching and being here, even though my videos have been less regular than usual. I really appreciate you, and I hope all of you are doing well, and I hope your journaling is going well. I will hopefully see you soon for another video in a couple of weeks. Until then, take care. Bye.